welcome to ShowMeTheCurry.com. I'm Anuja, and today we have a very special episode, and we have a guest, Nidhi Raj from soulandspicebox.com, a young blogger, a beautiful blogger, and she's going to be showing us how to make dry fruit rolls. So check out her blog, her website, and let's check out the recipe. Go ahead, Nidhi.
Thank you, Anuja, for inviting me here. It's a real pleasure to be here today on the show. And I've been a fan as long as I can remember. I've tried a lot of your recipes over the years.
Thank you.
Today we are doing a special episode especially for the festive season. This recipe is called dry fruit rolls,
right.
And you will probably find similar rolls in a lot of local Mithai wala shops. And staying in India, we typically refrain from making these things at home. But yeah, it's a simple recipe. You can quickly whip it up, and the best thing is it is sugar free.
So I know, a very simple recipe. There's no dearth of festivals and occasions to eat mithai in India or anywhere in the world. So let's just get started.
So for this recipe, you will be needing some dates.
So we're going to need about 350 grams of dates, which is about 3/4 of a pound, and about 3/4 cup of dates. So approximately about 50 dates, which you need to, of course, remove the pits. These are actually fresh dates, so they're a little more moist than the regular dates.
We'll also be needing about 1/4 cups of figs or anjeer. And we'll also be needing some dry fruits. These could be of your choice.
It's approximately 3/4 cup of dry fruit. So 1/4 cup of cashews, 1/4 cup of almonds, 1/4 cup of walnuts. The last thing we need is pistachios, and we're going to need about 3 tablespoons of them. So now all these fruits are going to be chopped up fine, right?
Yeah, that's right.
So we're going to get that started. Meanwhile, we'll also get a pan ready on medium heat.
So on a non-stick skillet, I have a tablespoon of ghee, and we have put it on medium heat.
Okay. And while that's heating up, the dates, if you need to chop them up a little bit more, you can, but I think this is soft enough, so you really don't have to. But if you have the hard ones, I think you're going to have to chop them down a little bit, right?
Yeah.
So this is ready. Meanwhile, what I'll do, I'll be the little assistant over here, and I'll go ahead and chop up all the dry fruits for Nidhi.
So I'll be adding the pitted dates into the pan. Now these are fresh dates. In case you're using dates which are a little dried up, the cooking time will change a bit. These are very fresh dates. These have a lot of moisture, so we'll be cooking this for a slightly longer period of time till we see that they've dried up a bit.
So if you're using regular dry dates, you can add in the figs together?
Yes.
Figs along with it? Okay.
Yes,
so while that's heating up, I'm just chopping down the figs and all the dry fruits into small pieces.
Yeah, this we'll have to cook them for about 3 to 4 minutes.
Okay.
Or till the time you see that they have lost a little bit of their moisture.
Okay.
And just make sure that it's on medium to low heat. The minute you think that it's about to, it's getting a little too hot or it's getting a little burnt, just lower the flame a bit and let it cook. Yeah. So this looks about done. And now we'll be adding in the chopped figs to this, and we'll let that cook again on low heat for another 2 to 3 minutes.
Yes, ma'am. Figs are ready.
Yeah. I wish you guys could smell the aroma that we are smelling right now.
That is so true.
Just divine.
I actually love dates, and so this is like a perfect recipe for me. So you can chop up the dry fruits separately, or you can mix them up. Ultimately, the walnuts and the cashews and the almonds are going to be mixed in together. So if you prefer one dry fruit over the other, use that and omit the others, or you can always play around a little bit more with the other kinds of dry fruits.
So this looks about done. Like we mentioned earlier, this will totally depend on the kind of dates that you're using.
This looks really good, and it's so easy. I think it took about 4 minutes.
4 or 5 minutes.
Yeah, 4 or 5 minutes.
So now we'll be adding in the chopped dry fruits.
So here's the chopped walnuts, cashews, and the almonds. Now the pistachios are still separate, so I'm going to chop this up separately.
Now make sure that at this stage you completely lower down the heat. This has to be cooked in a very, very low flame.
Okay.
And if you think that your pan is too hot, you can probably switch it off for a couple of minutes to let it cool down a bit.
And you just have to mix it till everything incorporates in? Okay.
You know, you need to really babysit this. You need to keep a watch on, you know, the way it's cooking, because the minute it gets too hard, it will be very difficult to mold it. Just keep a watch on it, keep stirring it, especially to see the texture of how it's turning out.
It is incorporated well. I think it just takes a little time and effort to do that. Like you said, babysitting.
So keep patting it down a bit. That will make sure that all the dry fruits are you know, really well coated. Mix it and pat it down. That will help it cook faster, and it will help all the dry fruits come together well.
So you're not waiting for the oil to separate, the ghee to come out, right? It just needs to have a sheen.
Yeah.
And I think, you know, basically it needs to incorporate well.
Yeah, it needs to incorporate well, and the minute it starts getting hard, so the way to check it is you just pat it a bit. And if you see that, you know, your spatula is going down completely, that means it still has some
Moisture.
more moisture. It has still has some more time to go. And of course, you don't want this to get too hard. Also, you need it to retain some moisture.
Right.
So I would give it probably about 5 minutes on low heat.
Okay.
Till everything cooks well. So as you can see, this has reduced a bit in amount, and when I pat it down, it's not really going down that easily. This looks about done because it's better that it has some moisture, so I won't cook it further, and we will transfer this to a platter. So that looks perfect. We will allow this to cool down for maybe about 3 to 4 minutes. It should not be completely cool, because then it will be very difficult to mold it.
Mold it, correct.
So we'll just let it be, let it sit for 3 minutes, and we'll come back.
Yeah, patience till then. It just smells divine. So it's been about 5 minutes or so. Mixture is cool to the touch. You know, it's cool, but it's not cold.
Yeah.
Right? It's a little warm, lukewarm. So you don't want to burn your hands. I think very important to keep that in mind.
So the minute you think that it can touch it, come back to it, and, you know, put a little bit of ghee on your hands and fingers. This will just help you in molding the rolls. It gets a little messy, but that's okay. So we'll be making 2 rolls out of this recipe. It's still a little warm, and this is the best time to shape it. So take it in your palms and try to give it a cylindrical shape. Try to keep patting this down so that all the dry fruits are well embedded in the mixture.
Right, and no air pockets also, right?
Yeah, and again, it doesn't need to be perfect. It just needs to have a cylindrical shape. You can put it in squares, or you can, you know, it just looks a little prettier when it's in a round shape once it gets cut.
Right, so something different, right? So over here, actually, I have taken the pista and I put it in a platter, the pistachios, and I've just dusted it over here. So this is ready.
So we have the roll, 1 roll ready here, but we'll be making 2 rolls out of this recipe. So this looks fine to me.
Yep.
Yeah.
So
Once this is done, you need to roll this tightly, get all the pistachios in. Now this is just to make the roll look pretty. You can use poppy seeds if you wish, or you could use a mixture of both of them.
right, very cool.
It just gives it a nice pop of color.
And how simple.
Yeah, so this looks about done. Pat out the excess and take a plastic wrap, or you could use aluminum foil if that's what you have at hand, and tightly wrap this in the plastic wrap. Make sure that, you know, you're wrapping it very tightly,
Right.
because this is what will make it retain the shape.
So let me do the next one. Let me help you out a little bit. So same process. Carry on with the next one. All right. That looks really good. And how simple. So now what's next?
Yeah, so these are now pretty much cool to the touch, and they're shaped nicely in the kind of shapes that we wanted. We'll refrigerate this for about 2 to 3 hours.
Okay.
And after 2 to 3 hours, we'll be able to slice them up into little pieces, and they'll be more firm to the touch.
Oh, excellent. So off they go into the fridge. So we're back, and the rolls have been in the fridge for about 3 hours, and they feel a lot more firmer. And I think they're all ready, right?
Yeah, they're all ready. So all you need to do is unwrap them. They were quite tightly wrapped, so just unwrap them gently. What we'll do is just take a sharp knife and rub it with a little bit of ghee or oil to make it slide through a lot faster.
Yeah, smoother, yes.
Yeah. So the first one will not be that pretty.
Yeah.
So we leave that for munching later.
Good idea.
It has to be like a sawing motion till you reach the end. And see, there you have it. It's a nice looking roll.
You can vary the thickness according to your desire, but of course try to keep them as even as possible. So our rolls have been cut up. They look so amazing, and these look so inviting. So I think we got to give it a try. We'll try one of these. Or you can take the big one if you like. Oh.
Yeah, it's really good. It's really fresh and it's very crunchy. It's got that lovely taste of pistachios, which is really bringing out the flavors.
Absolutely. Yeah, because pistachios are not as sweet. So I think what I really love in this whole thing is, I know when we were talking about it, you said you can make it only with the figs if you like, or you can make it only with the dates. But I love that little crunch of the figs in the thing. Yeah. I mean, of course, it's got the textures of the cashews and the almonds and the walnuts, and of course the pistachios and the smoothness of the dates. Yeah. But that little crunch that you get from the figs, just does it for me. Yes. So awesome recipe. So once again, thank you so much, Nidhi, for this easy recipe, and please check out her blog at Soul and Spice Box. Right?
Yeah.
And just try it out. She's got a Facebook page, she's got a website, so give it a try. She's got some awesome recipes over there.
Thank you for having me, Anuja. It's been a real pleasure, and I hope you guys enjoy this recipe and make it for this festive season.
Absolutely. Yeah. So enjoy these rolls and join us again for another episode on ShowMeTheCurry.com.
Adding a pinch of spice to your life.
Great job.